Hello, everybody, and we know in Parshat Yitro, and we know in Parshat Yitro there's a few things going on. I mean, why Yitro? Why Yitro? I mean, Yitro was the father-in-law, Moshe Rabbeinu. I mean, there's a question if Tzipor was adopted or she was his daughter, but anyhow, he's still the father-in-law. Whatever she grew up with him as an adoption or whatever it is his own daughter, we're not going to go into it. But we are talking about the idea of the relationship between Yitro to Moshe Rabbeinu, to Moses. And we know that the idea of Moses revealing so many miracles, in the name of Hashem, of course, in the name of God, and Yitro was impressed. And the whole comment was really impressed. How do you get impressed? What's the thing that you get impressed by the right thing? I mean, definitely we know we get impressed by the wrong thing, all of us, and especially in this time when we all get reactive to something that seemed like the safety for me or something that really helped me. The COVID start, everybody's thinking about what can I get from it? When you get married, what can I get from the marriage? When you have children, what can I get from my children? When you get a business, what can I get? It all came not to get. He came to said, I'm impressed. I'm impressed that your God get you out of Egypt. Who was Yitro? Kohen Leil Elyon. He was like a priest for all the master of the idol worshipping, and he was one of the advisors of Pharaoh. Pharaoh has three advisors, Bil'am, Eov, and Yitro. So it says that Yitro ran away once he heard that the decree was to kill every firstborn. But what can we basically understand that we want to get out of this week Parsha? The question is how much you're truly impressed by things that you meet or by things that you know. How many of you, by watching this video, obviously I'm talking to you because you're watching my video, how many of you are impressed from one thing that I say, and you're so impressed that for the next year, that's all what you're going to talk about? Not about all what we're teaching here, with one point I just say just now. And that's all what you do all year. Every day, 365 days, that's all what you do. You take 5 minutes from this lecture, and you are impressed. Not by me, but what I say, with what the Torah say, what the Zohar said. And you take that part and say, I want to send you that 5 minutes, because that 5 minutes impressed me. Now, why people are no longer get impressed by holiness? Because they impress as energy. Being impressed have energy. You either get impressed by good or get impressed by bad. So for example, if you see a creme brulee, let's say you like that dessert, and you have an opportunity to go and pray with minyan, you cannot impress by both. Impress as value. So either you get impressed by the kedusha or you get impressed by the tuma. You cannot do both. You cannot do both. You either get impressed by the good thing or by the bad thing. So if you don't get impressed by the good, you're most probably impressed by the bad. So that's how you know. If you're impressed by the study of the Torah, you're definitely not going to be impressed by the impurity. If you get impressed by impurity, you're not going to be impressed by the Torah. That's how you know. And Rav Ashtak, by the way, just to make it clear, we studied something on Shabbat, call it Ahava Chaluta. Empty love. What is empty love? Is when one side love you and give you everything. Like the Torah love you, God love you. But you cannot be impressed by that. You just want more. You become an addict. You become an addict. You become an addict to the gift of God. But you're nothing to do with God. You're not into God. You're not into the Torah. You just want to know what the Torah can give you. You want to study Torah so your children grow up, okay? You want to get close to God so Hashem give you parnasa, and money and health and all this and that. But you're truly not into God. You're just into what God can give you. And that's what makes Yitro, and that's what the Parsha named after him. He was not impressed because he wanted to benefit from his being impressed. He was impressed for being impressed of Hashem, of Moses, of the leadership. And this week Parsha, he also helped Moses. He said, I'm sure, when somebody is impressed, he's thinking to himself, how can I be part of it? How can I be part of that thing I just saw? And Hashem gave him opportunity to be part of it. God gave him an opportunity to be part by organizing the business of Moses. What was the business of Moses? Moses' business was to take care of his people as a leader. Now, taking care of her nations of slaves coming out of Egypt and turn them into a leader. It's very difficult. Doesn't matter how many workshops you do with Zig Ziglar or Tony Robbins or Les Brown or whoever is out there, or with me, you cannot change a slave mentality into a leader mentality. So for that reason, Yitro is advising Moses to say, why don't you choose people, put them in a certain position of a leader? Delegation, what we call in business. Delegate. And Moses, of course, you should study the Orach Chaim on that beautiful section of Orach Chaim. Why Moses didn't think of it on his own, and why Moses didn't do it. I mean, what's the point? And a beautiful thing about Rabbi Chaim Ben Attar, he always defend Moses. That's beautiful. That's what makes Orach Chaim the Ruach of Mashiach, the Ruach of Mashiach Ben David. He always explained that Moshe Rabbeinu, being humble, didn't know, I mean, his job to be able to think. Instead of, maybe I'm thinking about myself if I'm go ahead and give it to others. Maybe I'm selfish. Maybe I'm here is to sit on the chair and suffer. That's my mission. I don't know what's the right thing to do. So Yitro said to him, "Va'ata techeze, ata, only you have a vision of a Navi, of a prophet, that you can look at the palm and face of people, okay? And you can tell who is right, who is wrong to be chosen for a certain job of a leader." And that's what Moses did. That's what the section of the Zohar of Yitro is, you shall see. But you need to know that Rabbi Avraham Azulai and Rabbi Moshe Cordovero explain, "Va'ata techeze ne'emar b'Moshe v'lo becha." So all the wise people, me included as well, who study face and palm reading from the Zohar, have to remember, it doesn't matter how much you're going to know, it's ne'emar b'Moshe v'lo becha. Rabbi Moshe Cordovero, right? It was about Moses. You can study about how to read hand, that's easy, how to read face. But remember that Moses was a very different level. He saw on the forehead the all mishpatim that the person did in that day. He saw the old verses, when he studied Torah, when he did Avera, it was written. Like if you know Times Square in Manhattan, you have those news going around. The same thing was going on. There is on the forehead, the Ari could see it, news about the person, what he did today. And that's how the Malachim, how the angels, judge you or comfort you and take care of you based on what's written. Just to give you an example, the Ari explained when a person gives charity, and that day he has the letter Tzadik on his forehead, and the letter Tzadik doesn't go away. That's why it's Tzedakah Tatzil Mimavet. Why is the person safe from death? Because the Tzadik is on his forehead, and that saves him from the death. When you do other mitzvot, Nivla b'panim kotev Ari. It appears while you do it, and when you finish doing it, it's disappear in the face. Tzedakah doesn't disappear all day. It stays there. Can you imagine how it's a tremendous mitzvah? We don't respect tzedakah enough because we think we're helping somebody who needs. Actually, we're helping ourselves. We spoke about last week. So what I want to do is to see where is the Zohar taking us, because the Zohar is revealed to us what's hidden in the Parsha. And for some reason, the Zohar mostly talked this week Parsha about the Shabbat. We need to find out why Shabbat. What is Shabbat? If there is one thing I need to do with my life, one thing that I do with my life that will take care of my money, my health, and my happiness, what will it be? Shabbat. If you want to start changing your life, you have to start keeping the Shabbat. Now, why you said the word keeping the Shabbat? Is the Shabbat need some guard? You need to bring the CIA, the FBI to keep the Shabbat? Or is the Shabbat a prisoner that you have to keep, that Shabbat will not run away from you? Well, the word shvira means protection. And the laws of Shabbat are basically define how protected you will be during the week. And that's why every week you have to connect, almost like you're charging your phone, for the whole week. Because every day of the week is, the first day is Chesed, Sunday is Chesed. Second day is Gvura, then Tiferet, then Netzach, then Hod, then Yesod, and then Shabbat is Malchut. But also you could look at it in different ways, say Rabbi Chaim Vital. Sunday is close to Shabbat, it's Neshama. Monday is two distance away from Shabbat, it's Ruach. Tuesday is Nefesh. Wednesday is Nefesh. Thursday is Ruach. Friday is Neshama again. So it's, if you know mathematics, it's called parable. It's look like that. So the high part is Shabbat. The low part is Tuesday night. Now you know why the Gemara said that Tuesday night is the time of the demon. Why? Because that's the most amount of distance from the holiest of Shabbat. So now you know when a person keeps Shabbat, kilchata, and you have to start getting into it. No phone, no anything. It's not because you become religious. A lot of people say, I'm not that religious, I'm not that religious. So you should say, I'm not that rich, I'm not that happy, I'm not that healthy. You know, Shabbat is taking care of those things. Stop saying, I'm not that. What is it, 25 hours? Not looking at your iPhone, not looking at your watch. I have a gentleman who came to see me, Eliyahu, I cannot go off my phone. So what happened? If something happened to me? Oh, I have to call. I said, what happened if nothing happened to you? You put the phone there, that's a reason to call. Okay? Those of you who study Halachot Shabbat, if you have done Atzalat Nefesh, Pikuach Nefesh is called. Pikuach Nefesh Doche Shabbat. But a person who doesn't study the Halachot, doesn't study the laws of Shabbat, think that Shabbat is kind of a religious thing. It's not. It's a spiritual thing to take care of all because let's read about it. It's saying, in Shabbat you have Zachor and you have Shamor. You have two aspects to it, but I'm not going to go into confuse you. So it's saying like this. וכתוב במן, it's saying about the manna. 6 ימים תלקטו, 6 days you collect the manna. The manna was only raining like snow at your doorstep, fresh. What was the manna? A consciousness food. You eat from it, you meditate, I want to test omelette, ice cream. Whatever food you want to test. Universal food. But your mind has to decide what it is. So that type of food came only until Friday. וביום השביעי שבת לא ירבו. שבת no manna. שואל, כיוון שאינו נמצא בו מזון, מהו הברכה שנמצא בו? What kind of... You say Shabbat is a blessing, and the manna is a blessing. How come manna doesn't come with Shabbat? Then what's the blessing? אלא כך למדנו. say the Zohar, Rabbi Shimon say it, כל הברכות שלמעלה ומטה תלויות ביום השביעי. You want to know what happened 6 days of the week? The whole blessing depends on Shabbat. ולמדנו, למה לא היה נמצא ביום השביעי? משום שבהיום ההוא מתברכים כל שבת עליונים. Shabbat is like the brain. It's taking care of the entire body. So Shabbat itself, you don't need to take care of it, because Shabbat is taking care of Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Let's say you have a meeting on Sunday. Let's say you have a meeting on Tuesday. How do you know the meeting will go well? Shabbat. מאוד פשוט. מתברכים כל שבת עליונים, וכל אחד ואחד נותן מזון למטה, כל אחד ביומו מהברכה היא שמתברכים ביום השביעי. Every day of the week, give a piece of the blessing to Shabbat. So Shabbat is basically the one who received the whole blessing, like Malchut, if you understand what Malchut is. It's receiving and it's reflecting. It's reflecting for the next week and it's receiving from the last week. That's what Mincha of Shabbat, you have to read the Torah of next week. Because the Torah of the next week in Mincha of Shabbat is blessing for the next week. Most people don't know that Mincha of Shabbat is the highest point of Shabbat. And most people don't know that the third meal of Shabbat is the highest point of Shabbat. But some people just come from third meal. Third meal, what is healing? Amen, I'm not feeling well. You can't do that. It's almost say, I love my husband, my wife, we love each other, but I like your mind, or I like his mind, but I don't like the rest. So are you going to cut their head and just go with the head to the wedding? Or you're going to take the whole body? It's part of the system. Same like Shabbat, it's all part of everything. ומשום זה, מישהו במדרגת האמונה צריך לסדר על שולחן. So if you're one of those people who believe that what Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai say it's true, if you don't believe, just stop the tape now, the recording, and go. Or if you ever. צריך לסדר על שולחן, תקן סעודה בליל שבת. What is that required need to do? You need before Shabbat enter, if you are before Shabbat, best things from שעה חמישית ומעלה, שעה חמישית, the 5th hour, meaning you count 5 hours from sunrise. So let's say sunrise right now at 6:45, let's say, you count 5 hours. So 5 hours will be around 1 o'clock. That's when the energy of Shabbat landing. At that time, you have to start selling the house, clean the house, make the food, make the table nice, tablecloth, everything has to be ready. 5 hours after זריחה. כי בזמן ההוא מזדמנת הברכה. Why? Because there is a lot of availability of blessing. שהתברכו כל 6 ימי השבת. You want to know what happened then? The entire money of the next week depends on that after שעה חמישית. Just respect them. והברכה אינה נמצאת בשולחן ריק. But if your table is empty, you don't have tablecloth, you don't have plate, nice for Shabbat, you buy special plate, it's only for Shabbat. Fork, gold or silver, just for Shabbat. Food, just for Shabbat. You have to make also specific food for Shabbat. Clothing, just for Shabbat. You know, white clothes. Of course, the Ari say it, Rabbi Zidichov say it, the Rabbi Yitzchak Mekamana say it, all of them say, wear white for Shabbat. If you can make yourself wear white for Shabbat. I know some of you embarrassed that the pants get dirty or something. Wear white on Shabbat. על כן צריכים לסדר שולחן בליל שבת בלחם ומזון. Put bread already on a table like you're about to eat. Few hours before. מזון, רבי יצחק אמר אפילו ביום השבת גם כן. רבי יהודה אמר, צריכים להתענג ביום. And you have to have pleasure. לאכול ג' סעודות. You have to have 3 meals. One Friday night, one Saturday morning lunch kind of a time, and then one before sunset, which called the third meal. כדי שימצא שובע ועונג בעולם ביום ההוא. When you eat here, you reflect what's going to happen in the upper world. So the amount you're going to have, those of you who people ask me, what's your secret? What's your secret, Eliyahu? We want to know your secret. What was the thing? How do you meet the right people? How do you do all of it? How do you make things in such a short time to influence thousands of people all over the world? What do? We tell them Shabbat. We tell them we Shabbat. We host people for Shabbat before the COVID. We host people after the COVID, during the COVID. Shabbat. This is it. You do that, everything has been taken care. רבי אבא אמר, כדי להמשיך ברכות בימים אלו של מנה, שמתברכים מהיום ההוא, והיום הזה מלא ראשו של זעיר אנפין, ניטל היורד מהעתיק הקדישה, הסתום מכל. What happened at that time? The light that comes from above from Atika is going to the head, the Risha the Ze'er Anpin. Those of you who know Atkinu, look at Atkinu translation to English, you will see it changed where Ze'er Anpin is. Wherever Ze'er Anpin is, that's where you are. So if you are there to receive the blessing that Ze'er Anpin received, it stays with you for the whole week. מלא ראשו של זעיר אנפין ניתן ליורד מהעתיק הקדישה, סתום לכל מקום. הוא משווה לחקל תפוחים קדישים. If Ze'er Anpin is receiving it, then Ze'er Anpin is influence חקל תפוחים קדישים, the field, the holy field of apple, meaning Malchut. Why you call it apple? Very good question. Because apple has 3 colors, as red, as green, and white, which is the right, left, and center. Chesed Gvura Tiferet. That's why it's called Chakal Tapuchim. The Zohar explained in a different section. That's why it's called Tapuach, apple. Because the red is Gvura, okay? The white is Chesed, and the green is Tiferet. That's why there is some rumors that when you want to make miracle of healing, you eat tapuchim, you eat apple. Apple has within it sgula, because it balances you. It balances you have 3 column system. תפוחים קדשים, ג' פעמים מעט נשבע, כשם שהתברכו כולם כאחד. וכן צריך אדם להתענג ולא ג' פעמים. You have to have pleasure in the food, so the food have to be tasty. You have to enjoy the food. Now don't go just for the tasty of the food. And don't blame. I saw some husband one time blame his wife that the food is no good. No good. No good, that husband no good. How do we know it's not good? As Rabbi Shimon say in a different section, לא תבערו אש בכל מושבותיכם. You're not allowed to start fire on Shabbat. He said, what fire? It's not just physical fire. The anger is also a fire. You can't get angry on Shabbat. You can't get angry on Shabbat. Try. And the food has to be pleasure. We just have a meal here on Friday and Sunday, and the food was so good. Really good, Baruch Hashem. And really enjoyed it. It was an Oneg Shabbat. From the physicality. So why are you allowed to enjoy physicality? Because that physicality is connected to spirituality. When? On Shabbat. Because only on Shabbat, which is Malchut, going up to a higher level, and because of that, it can nourish things which are physical as if they are spiritual. ובזה רבינו וזה תפוחים, צריך אדם להתענג לא לסמוך בהם, ומי שגורע הסעודה מהם מרב גם למעלה. If you're missing one meal, it's almost like you are missing something in the upper world, and because of that, something will be missed this week. So always have 3 meals. Doesn't matter what happened, doesn't matter where you are, have 3 meals. What is it to have 3 meals? No, you don't have wine, Baruch Hashem, do a motzi. Something, you gotta sit to Trishuda. For example, Chabad, they don't do a motzi during 10 minutes, it's okay. They do perot, they do magdanim, different cookie, different garinim, tvarim, good. Why? Because they go by the Tzemach Tzedek, they go by the Palatanya. Where they come from? They understood the Ari differently. Because the Ari is a b'diavad. If you don't have motzi, if you don't have this, do fruit. So what's the Chabad conclusion from that? They explain. Well, because you're going to Atika and Terpil, you don't really need food. And for that idea of food. So any person who do it their own way, it's good. Just make sure you do 3 times stop and you do meal. And you have to do it whatever you understand it or not understand it. לסמוך בהם. מי שגורע סעודה מהם מראים פגם, למעלה פרושו של האדם מרובה. The punishment of that person is tremendous just for missing 1 meal. Tremendous. Now, why do you need to be punished? And what is a punishment? Punishment means that your vessel will be ready to receive and you don't receive. That's punishment. Meaning you have desire, but the desire doesn't get satiated. לסדר שולחנו ג' פעמים את כניסה השבת, ולא יימצא שולחנו ריקם. יש לך ברכה עליו כל שאר ימי השבת. ובדבר זה מראה ותלויה האמונה של הבעל. And in this thing, all the אמונה is depends. All the idea of faith, all the idea of certainty, all the idea of happiness is depends. I want to read to you another Zohar a section, and then I'll let you go. I don't want to make it too long. It's already 20 minutes I'm talking. Okay. Just short. And the connection is not the greatest here, so I'm trying to do the best I can. Also, the battery is... there's another section here. It's saying, אמר רב יוסי, in the Zohar Yitro פחת, כך הוא, אוי לו לאדם שלא משלים בשמחה של המלאכה. It was not complete the happiness of the holy king. ומהו השמחה שלו? גיב לסעודות. What is the שמחה of the king on Shabbat? Those 3 meals. של האמונה, סעודות של אברהם, יצחק ויעקב. Because every meal is correlated to אברהם, יצחק ויעקב. The first meal, Friday, יצחק. Why we don't start with Avraham? Because Shabbat is different. The evening of Shabbat is left column. The morning of Shabbat, right column, like always. And the third meal is the center column, מנחה. של אמונה. סעודה שאברהם, יצחק ויעקב כלולים בה, וכולם ספיחה על סברה, אמונה של דבר, כל הדברים. למדנו ביום הזה מתעטרים מעבוד וכל הבנים יונקים מהם. And that day, the all nourishment come to the fathers, which is Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and the children, us, receive it of that line. מה שאין כאן בכל החגים וזמנים. No holiday, no time, no other time to receive like Shabbat. ביום זה נחים הרשעים בגיהנום. You need to know. Usually, during the time of a person going to hell sounds like a curse, but hell is a processing to go to heaven. So before a person go to heaven, try to imagine that you have a candy in your hand. But the wrap, whatever wrap that candy, I don't know if it ever happened to you, stick to your finger. And you try to remove the plastic and it keep chasing you, the plastic. What is hell? Hell is to remove those things that attach to your soul to be burned out. So it will be removed. That's what hell is. You got to go there to remove. Angels go there too. Once they visit Olam Hazeh. That's the Olam. So you take those negativity out in hell. So you say, in that day, even the Reshaim, even people who were the most selfish, people who not have just 1 or 2 things attached to the body or the soul, they did 1,000 billion bad things. So they have so many paper attached to them, they don't even know where is their soul. Even they rest on Shabbat, because we rest on Shabbat. So we reflect what's going to happen to them. For that reason, you keep Shabbat 25 hours, not 24 hours. So you can do extra hour for them. So you give them chasadim. And until you don't say, Ve'ur rachum yichaper, listen to your blessing. Ve'ur rachum yichaper avon velo yashchit. All those yashchit is different 3 types of angels that in charge of hell. So you tell them, you cannot touch those people until I finish Arvit, until I do Avdalah. So when you light the candle of Avdalah, then they start the fire in heaven, in hell. But the fire in hell, you need to know. It's a fire that burns the thing. Can you skip hell? Well, if you study enough Torah, and you connect to a certain teacher that you love unconditionally, 100%, not 98, 100%, then that teacher will do, it's called Ovre Be'emek Avacha, Ma'ayan Yeshitiu. Yishtu meaning it take you out. So there is a river of fire called Nar Dino. And we know in the Zohar, many sections in the Zohar, when Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai reached out to one of his students and gave tzedakah. One of his students gave so much charity, and Rabbi Shimon tried to reach to get him out of the river of fire, and he tried to reach out to him, he couldn't reach. But because that gentleman did the tzedakah, the poor man that he gave tzedakah to helped Rabbi Shimon to get him out of the river. So your action of mitzvot, tzedakah, tefillah, Shabbat, save you. ביום הזה כל הדינים לחיים, there is no judgment in that day. ואינם מתעוררים בעולם ביום הזה, התורה מתעטרת מטרות שלמות ביום הזה, ששמחה ועונג נשבע, ברש נון עולמות. 250 level of consciousness, get happiness, get money, get health, everything depends on Shabbat. And those of you downing now, I'm sure some of you say, well, so many people give Shabbat that they don't have money, so many people give Shabbat they don't have you can find what's wrong with that, but try to think about what is happiness. Is happiness external or internal? If it's only external, then you are part of the fake world. Wear a smile on your face, put some nice jacket, and everybody think you're happy. Or you want the other type of happiness. I'm happy from within. I'm extremely happy, and that's what it's all about. I want to tell you also, I'm recording it, and to remind everybody, that tonight is a big mitzvah, it's a big things, to have a fruit, which is new, and do a blessing on it, of Bore Pri Ha'etz, and then Shechianu V'Kimanu. Why? Because few things. First, you are praying that the holy vegetables we use, and fruit, like for Sukkot, you're using fruit. You want those things to grow well, and you will be able to handle a good fruit, because the good fruit of Sukkot define what's going to happen all year. Besides that, you are eating from the ground, whatever it's bread, vegetables, or fruit, and all this and that. We want to make sure the weather will be okay. We want to make sure everything will grow okay. So why we need to ask God to do it? God doesn't need us, because there is a pleasure. It's called Nachat Ruach. When the child is asking from God something that God wants to do for you, then it's almost like you have a vessel for us to receive it. So when you are dancing tonight and singing tonight and eating them zonot from wheat and barley, and then you have Sheva Perot, 7 fruit, which are wheat, barley, grapes, fig, and pomegranate, and then dates and olive. Those are the 7 fruit. Okay, what's the order of eating it? It's whatever you want to do. I mean, some people do it what's close to the word eretz. So it's eretz chita sorah gefen tenat rimon. So for example, gefen, grapes, is 3 down from the word eretz. So that's why eretz zait semen udvash. That's in the zait coming before. The zitim coming before. Because the zitim come before the grapes, because the zitim is first next to the eretz. The dates coming second. So the dates are the second. Because I heard Rabbi yesterday say something which I didn't know where it came from, but it makes sense. So you have first the zed, dvash, then gefen, then te'ena, and then rimon. It's, if you look at it. But you first have to start with wheat and barley. If you have wheat and barley, zachita. And don't forget pri chalash, meaning a new fruit. Some chassidim, and I'm going to do it tonight too, mixing red wine, white wine, and mix of red and white wine. So you have 3 glasses in front of you. Red, white, and red. So you have 2 grapes of different kind. And also, some Kabbalists explain that you eat the fruit according to peeling it, seeding it, and no seed, no peeling. So there is 3 fruit, because it has to do with Asiyah, Yetzirah, and Bria. I want to wish you a wonderful day, a wonderful week. And to those of you who live in Los Angeles, I will see you in Los Angeles this weekend. Hopefully, we can have dinner together, and all the best. Thank you.